The lazy perfectionist, one who wants to get things done and in a particular way but can't seem to do them. Because if it's not going to be done right, it's going to be half-assed, or it's just going to be a fraction of what it could be, then what's the point? I used to be a lazy person. Actually, I'd still consider myself a pretty lazy person. There are plenty of things I want to do, want to make, want to create, but when the time comes, 90% of the times, I don't want to do it. I'm not as motivated or inspired as I first was when I first thought of the idea. But thankfully, over the years, I've sort of figured out ways to hack my brain and work around my quirks. So although I'm lazy, I'm still productive and disciplined. And today I want to share some of those things with you guys because if you're anything like me, this will help a lot. Plus, at the end of the video, I'll give you guys the biggest mindset shift that has allowed me to flip the script on perfectionism. Step 1, making it easy. The issue that many of us face is that things are way too easy not to do. We can decide to put things off and instead spend hours scrolling on our phones. We can ignore the work and instead go for a drink with some friends. We perpetuate this cycle of laziness. If you feel like you've done this many times, understand that you're not alone. This is something that's pretty common nowadays, and it's almost normal to be at the mercy of our own bad habits. We know it's not good for us, but we do it anyways. So something I found that really helps me out is learning how to make things easy to do. This was a concept I learned and applied to my own life from Atomic Habits. If we can make the thing we want to do easy to do, it'll increase the likelihood we'll actually do it. For example, when editing photos and sequencing images for this upcoming photo zine, there are a few things that make it easier to do. One is by having everything I need on my desk ready to go. That way, when the time to work comes, it's much easier to do because there's no setup involved. And yes, it may look a little messy, but think about how much time I save when starting different tasks. So doing this makes it easier to sit down and just get to work. Another way I do this is by starting things as soon as possible. Something I've learned from going to the gym is that the hardest part is just getting there. It's not even the workout. When I'm at the gym, my body does the exercises and my mind already knows what to do. But it's that whole lead up. It's the getting ready, getting in the car, and convincing myself that yes, I am going to work out today. That's the hard part. However, if I just speed run through that sequence and get to the gym as soon as possible, it's more likely I'll say things to myself like, well, I'm already at the gym, I might as well just work out. My mind doesn't even get a chance to complain. And so you can apply this to anything you do. Set up the things you're going to work with ahead of time so that it's ready to go when you're ready to go. And then also start that work as quickly as possible to sort of cut down that activation energy of doing whatever it is you want to do. You'll begin to notice how much easier things are to do. Step 2, boredom. The second solution to lazy perfectionism is to use boredom to your advantage. This is a tactic that many writers like Seinfeld have used that allowed them to get things done. Set up a period of time throughout the day where you don't have to do the work, but you're not allowed to do anything else. So even if the work is agonizing and you don't want to do it, the pain of being bored and the pain of not doing anything will be worse than the pain of the work itself. An experiment was done that actually tested this. The link is down below, where participants were left in a boring room situation. In this room, they were given the option to shock themselves. And what they found was that people in the boring room situation shocked themselves more and at a higher intensity than other rooms, meaning that people would rather be in pain than be bored. So you can understand how powerful this is. So I've applied this to my life many times and it works. Not the shocking myself thing, but the boredom. When it's time to work, I tell myself I'm not allowed to do anything else. No phones, no scrolling, no checking emails, nothing. The only thing I can do is the work itself or just sit there in misery. And it works pretty much 100% of the time because I'd rather do the work than just sit there. So this shows just how powerful boredom is and how we can use it to our advantage. If you need to get something done, bore yourself into doing the work. Put your phone away, close the excess tabs, turn off the music, and just sit there. Eventually, you'll get so bored, you'll just get to work. And if you apply this to everything you do, you'll be shocked at just how much more productive you can be. Step 3, procrastination. In this final point, we're going to flip the script on our own perfectionism and learn how to use procrastination to our advantage. The thing about perfectionism is that by trying to make everything perfect, we can put off a lot of work. We can turn simple and easy tasks into excuses by basically saying, oh, I want it to be good, so I'm taking my time on it. And then we procrastinate, and never get anything done. This is a problem because it self-justifies our perfectionism as a good thing. There's a great quote by Stephen Barnes that says, perfectionism is procrastination masquerading as quality control. So here's the thing. I'll agree that perfectionism can be a good thing in some cases. You don't want to just put crappy, low-quality stuff out. But too much of it and it becomes exactly like the quote above. masquerading as quality control. The way to balance perfectionism and procrastination is by setting up systems. Systems will make sure you're still making progress despite your procrastination. And the easiest system you can set up is a quota. This can mean reading 15 minutes a day or writing 15 minutes a day, whatever the thing you want to do is. Now, that might not be what you'd consider productive, but 15 minutes a day, each and every day, over the course of a year, really adds up. So this is what I do in all my work, from making YouTube videos to editing photos to working on this upcoming photo book. Every day I work from 8 or 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. doing the work regardless of if it's good or bad. That way, progress can still happen while my mind is perfecting things and figuring things out in the background. And some days I do find myself going back and redoing a lot of things, but it still is progress because it gives me insight on how I don't want a certain thing to be. So sometimes even a step backwards can mean 3 steps forwards, and that's a good thing. And although some days might be less productive than others, every day works and contributes little by little to pushing and rolling this ball forward. So if you're struggling with perfectionism, understand that perfectionism can be an excuse to procrastinate. But if you ignore that little voice in your head telling you it's not perfect and just get to work, and simply filling your quota each and every day will make sure you're still making progress, and then your mind can rest a little easy. And you don't have to feel so bad about being unproductive or unperfect. Try it out, it might change your life. So let's sum things up real quick. Step 1. Make things easy to do. Step 2, bore yourself into doing the work. Step 3, set up a system to turn your perfectionism into productivity. And remember, if all else fails, you just have to do the work. These little tips and tricks might help, but at the end of the day, there is no getting around doing the work. So this is something that's helped me a lot over the years, and I hope it helps you out. Also, if you're interested, I'm currently giving out free 4x6 prints. The link is down below. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in another video. Peace.